Many older adults are surprised to learn that seasonal allergies can still be a significant challenge well into their 70s and beyond. Perhaps you've noticed a sudden surge in sneezing fits or itchy eyes in springtime and assumed it was just a passing thing. Or maybe you've resigned yourself to a stuffy nose, thinking it's part of the natural aging process. But here's a reality that often goes unrecognized. What might feel like normal aging could actually be untreated allergies. And if you're over 70, the medications you took in your 40s or 50s for those same symptoms might not be the best choice anymore. The good news is that there are effective, relatively gentle antihistamine options that many seniors find helpful and safe, provided they check with their healthcare provider. Today, we'll explore 5 such options that have allowed countless adults to breathe a little easier, enjoy the outdoors, and rest assured they're making the safest possible choices. One of the biggest challenges seniors face with allergy relief is balancing effectiveness with minimal side effects. Certain first-generation antihistamines that were once considered standard can cause drowsiness and even confusion, especially in older adults. They may also interact unfavorably with other medications you might be taking for heart health, blood pressure, or pain management. Being mindful of these potential pitfalls matters because feeling mentally clear and physically steady is essential to daily functioning, from staying active to preventing falls. If your allergy treatment leaves you foggy or fatigued, it can undermine your independence and quality of life. That's precisely why addressing this issue is so important. Seasonal allergies aren't merely an inconvenience. Untreated or poorly managed symptoms can disrupt your sleep, making you more prone to fatigue during the day and possibly affecting other areas of your health. The constant irritation in your nasal passages and eyes can lead to discomfort and sometimes even sinus infections. In more extreme cases, allergies might exacerbate breathing issues or other chronic conditions. By taking steps to find and use an appropriate antihistamine, you can potentially avoid these pitfalls and enjoy a higher level of comfort and well-being. After all, staying active and connected to the world outside your front door is a huge part of living a fulfilling life in your 70s and beyond. Over the next few minutes, we'll delve into 5 safer antihistamine options commonly recommended for older adults. We'll challenge some assumptions you might have about how allergies should be treated at this stage of life, clear up a few misconceptions about side effects, and share practical examples from folks in their 70s, 80s, and beyond who've navigated these same issues. Most importantly, we'll offer evidence-based insights on how each option might support your health without derailing your daily routine. By the end of our time together, you'll have a clearer understanding of what to look for in an over-the-counter or prescription antihistamine, how to talk to your doctor or pharmacist, and what kinds of simple daily habits can complement any medication you choose. I've had the privilege of working with older adults who've experimented with various antihistamines and learned a great deal from their experiences. While I'm not here to replace professional medical guidance, I hope to provide a foundation of knowledge that can help you ask the right questions at your next healthcare appointment. If this topic resonates with you, if you felt the sting of watery eyes or the frustration of an ongoing cough and suspect allergies might be to blame, I encourage you to stay with me through each point. You might find a new perspective or an approach that eases symptoms in ways you never thought possible. Now let's start by dispelling some of the common myths that can hold you back from finding genuine relief. Let's jump in by challenging the idea that it's just not safe for older adults to take antihistamines, or that any relief will come at the cost of feeling groggy or off balance. There's more to the story than most people realize. The first misconception that deserves our attention revolves around a belief many older adults have, that antihistamines inevitably cause drowsiness, confusion, or other cognitive side effects, particularly after age 70. For decades, first-generation antihistamines like diphenhydramine were the go-to for allergy relief, and indeed they often cause sedation and can have anticholinergic effects that aren't ideal for older adults. But that doesn't mean there aren't newer, more refined options out there. Harriet, 77, represents a very typical story. She'd been taking the same first-generation antihistamine she used in her 50s. Although it helped with her sniffles, she'd regularly nap throughout the day and felt oddly disconnected, even a bit anxious. After chatting with her pharmacist, she discovered that more modern antihistamines might address her symptoms without triggering that heavy sedation or confusion. By switching to a different type of medication under her doctor's supervision, Harriet found relief that didn't interfere with her mental clarity. Today, many experts point to second-generation antihistamines as a preferable choice for older adults. These medications, available both over-the-counter and by prescription, are often designed to minimize sedation. While no medicine is entirely without side effects, these second-generation options can be less likely to cause issues such as severe drowsiness, dry mouth, or blurred vision. Of course, it's crucial to consult a healthcare professional because each individual's situation is unique, particularly if you're on multiple medications. If you're thinking about practical steps to safely incorporate a second-generation antihistamine, start by having an updated list of all the medications you currently take. Schedule a brief consultation with your doctor or pharmacist and ask them to evaluate potential interactions. Mention any history of confusion or dizziness when taking medication. It might sound straightforward, but many seniors don't realize that simple changes, like taking your antihistamine at a certain time of day or choosing a specific formulation, liquid versus tablet, can make all the difference in avoiding unwanted effects. You might also discover that a lower dose is enough to manage your symptoms effectively. From a physical standpoint, choosing a lower sedation antihistamine can help you maintain your regular exercise or walking routine. And emotionally, feeling alert and clear-headed during your day can boost confidence and reduce anxiety about potential missteps or falls. This choice supports not only your allergy relief, but also your broader goal of staying engaged and independent. Before we move on, let's pause for a moment. Have you ever felt hesitant about trying new allergy medications because you worry about side effects or possible interactions? If so, you're not alone. Consider making a short list of your concerns to bring up with a healthcare provider. A simple conversation can often resolve worries that have lingered for months or even years. Let's keep that sense of proactivity going as we look at the first of our 5 specific antihistamine options, one that many seniors find tolerable and effective: loratadine. Next, let's talk about a misconception surrounding one of the better-known second-generation antihistamines: the idea that if it doesn't knock you out, it must not be working. In the past, people often equated the drowsy feeling with, wow, my allergies must be getting fixed. But that's not necessarily how it works, especially for seniors whose bodies respond differently to medications than they used to. Take Richard, who's 81. For decades, he assumed that if an allergy pill didn't make him sleepy, it was too weak. He'd rely on the drowsiness as a sign the medication was helping. But as he got older, he realized that sedation no longer felt like a minor inconvenience. It made it impossible for him to stay active in his community choir or even drive safely to the grocery store. His allergist introduced him to loratadine, a non-sedating antihistamine that works differently. The absence of overwhelming fatigue initially made Richard skeptical, but after a week or so, he noticed his congestion and sneezing had significantly improved. Suddenly, he was free to enjoy singing again, without the drag of daytime drowsiness. Evidence suggests that loratadine is generally well tolerated in older adults. It's available in various forms: tablets, capsules, and even dissolvable strips. Because it tends to have fewer anticholinergic effects, it's less likely to cause issues like urinary retention or severe dry mouth, although mild dryness can still occur. Remember, though, that no medication is automatically safe for everyone. If you have liver or kidney concerns, or if you're taking certain prescription drugs, you'll want to run it by your doctor. The real key is personalization. What works for your friend or neighbor might not be the ideal solution for you. If you're curious to try loratadine, here's a practical approach. Pick up a small supply, enough for a trial period of about 2 weeks. During this time, keep a short journal of your symptoms, noting days you feel improvement and any side effects, especially dryness or slight dizziness. Doing so gives you and your healthcare provider a clear record to review. You might find that half a dose works just as well, or that switching the time of day you take it makes a positive difference. Small tweaks can yield big rewards and comfort. Beyond the physical relief, there's an emotional benefit too. When you realize you can manage seasonal allergies without feeling groggy, you often regain a sense of control. You might be more willing to go on a morning walk, join a local gardening club, or simply feel more vibrant during the day. This feeling of safety, knowing that you won't suddenly need a nap, can be a confidence boost, making socializing and hobbies more enjoyable. Before we go further, here's something to think about. Have you been equating sedation with effectiveness? It's an understandable assumption, especially if that's what you grew up experiencing. But as our bodies age, priorities shift, and so do our reactions to medications. Let's keep an open mind as we move on to another commonly mentioned non-sedating option, fexofenadine. A third misconception you'll often hear is that all second-generation antihistamines are basically the same, so there's no point in shopping around. In reality, even among the non-sedating group, these medications can vary in how they're metabolized and how quickly they take effect. Fexofenadine is one that seniors often appreciate because it's specifically formulated to limit entry into the brain, reducing the chance of drowsiness. Yet many older adults don't realize that subtle differences can make a big impact on their daily lives. Consider Eileen, 74, who gave up on fexofenadine after just one day because she still felt a little stuffy in the morning. She'd heard that non-sedating antihistamines should work instantly if they're any good. But like many medications, fexofenadine can take a bit of time to build up an optimal level in your system. Eileen's doctor encouraged her to try it for at least a week, tracking her symptoms throughout the day. By day 5, Eileen noticed her morning congestion had decreased dramatically, and she no longer felt so reliant on nasal sprays, which she'd been using off and on for years. Studies often point to fexofenadine as a solid choice for older adults who have concerns about sedation or drug interactions, although again, the final decision should be made in partnership with your healthcare team. One practical tip if you choose fexofenadine: watch out for fruit juices like grapefruit or orange juice when you take your dose. Some older adults find that these juices can reduce the medication's absorption. You may want to take your pill with water at least a couple of hours apart from your morning glass of OJ. It's a simple timing tweak that can help maximize benefits. When we talk about the physical benefits, the main one is clear: reduced allergy symptoms with minimal sedation. The emotional side is equally significant. Feeling more certain that you'll wake up clear-headed can give you the freedom to plan your day, exercise, visiting with family, or just relaxing with a good book without worrying about allergy symptoms derailing your plans. That sense of security can lift your mood and make you more open to spontaneous outings or visits with friends. As a helpful nudge, ask yourself, have you ever given up too soon on a new medication or health practice because you didn't see overnight results? It's easy to do, but the body sometimes needs consistent, steady exposure to a medication like fexofenadine to show its full effect. If you decide to try it, consider setting reminders to ensure you take it around the same time each day. And if after a week or two you're still not feeling the results you want, that's a perfect time to circle back with your doctor or pharmacist for guidance. We've covered 2 non-sedating antihistamines so far, each with its own nuances. Now let's transition to a slightly different one, sedation, which can still be useful for many seniors, despite having a mild sedative effect in some people. But before we get there, take a moment to jot down any questions or concerns you might have about loratadine or fexofenadine. That small action can pave the way for a more productive conversation with your healthcare provider. Ready to learn about sedation? Let's keep going. Another belief that holds many seniors back is the notion that all sedation is bad, leading them to avoid potentially helpful medications entirely. Sedation, while classified as a second-generation antihistamine, can cause mild drowsiness in some people. This mild sedation might sound concerning, but in practice, many older adults tolerate it well, or they use that side effect strategically, taking the medication at bedtime, for instance, to help ease nighttime allergy symptoms while also promoting better sleep. Francis, 80, personifies this approach. He'd always been a champion napper, but his new medication regimen made it tough to get uninterrupted rest at night. Dust mites and spring pollen set off bouts of sneezing that woke him several times. He tried sedation under his doctor's advice and noticed that while it reduced his late-night sneezing, it also relaxed him enough to fall back asleep more easily. During the day, he felt refreshed, and the mild sedation didn't linger into his morning routine. This is a perfect example of how a side effect can sometimes be turned into a benefit if managed carefully. From an evidence-based perspective, sedation is often recognized for its rapid onset of action. Many older adults find that it kicks in faster than some other non-sedating options, which can be particularly helpful if your allergy symptoms appear abruptly, like going out to a new park in spring. However, because cetirizine can be slightly sedating, it's important to monitor how you react, especially if you live alone or if you drive frequently. This is where starting with a low dose and working closely with your healthcare provider becomes essential. They can help you fine-tune the timing and dosage. When it comes to practicality, keep a simple symptom tracker for the first few days. Write down when you take cetirizine and how you feel in the hours afterward. Notice if you are yawning more than usual or if you feel any dizziness upon standing. If sedation is too strong during the day, you might shift your schedule so you take your dose an hour before bedtime. Some individuals, especially those who've always had trouble sleeping, actually appreciate cetirizine's gentle nudge toward drowsiness. One of the emotional benefits here is peace of mind, especially for people who've been struggling to sleep through the night due to coughing or congestion. Sleep is crucial for overall health, physical, mental, and emotional. Being able to rest comfortably without the sudden wake-up calls of itchy eyes or a runny nose can lead to more energy and improved mood during the day. That, in turn, can boost your sense of independence and reduce the feeling that you're slowing down in an inevitable way. We've now explored 3 possible antihistamine options for seniors over 70: loratadine, fexofenadine, and cetirizine. Each has its unique pros and cons, and your perfect fit may hinge on your daily schedule, other medications, or specific health conditions. If you haven't yet, consider taking notes or even discussing these points with a friend who might also benefit from safer allergy solutions. Hearing another person's experiences can sometimes spark insights or remind you of questions you want to raise with a healthcare professional. Next, we'll move on to another facet of this conversation: additional second-generation antihistamines, such as desloratadine and levocetirizine. These options aren't always top of mind, but they can be real game changers for some seniors. Let's explore what makes them unique and how they might fit into your allergy management plan. A lingering assumption out there is that if you've tried 1 or 2 second-generation antihistamines without success, you're out of options. This can be discouraging, especially for seniors who already juggle multiple health concerns. Yet desloratadine and levocetirizine stand as reminders that there's still room for individualized tailoring. These medications are slightly more specialized forms of the ones we've discussed, sometimes offering longer-lasting relief or a smoother profile of side effects. Take Pauline, 85, who found that while loratadine helped her congestion, she occasionally woke up at night with itchy, watery eyes. She felt it was better than nothing, but her physician suggested she try desloratadine, a metabolite of loratadine that can offer extended relief. After a few weeks, Pauline noticed her eyes felt more comfortable, even in the early morning hours, and she was sleeping more soundly. She'd nearly given up on the idea of complete allergy relief at her age, but a simple switch made all the difference. Desloratadine is often touted for its once-a-day dosing with a potentially longer half-life, meaning it stays in your system for a bit longer. Levocetirizine, the active form of cetirizine, can be another option if you found standard cetirizine either too sedating or not quite effective enough at a lower dose. Because these medications can be more refined in how they target histamine receptors, some seniors report fewer side effects. However, just like the others, individual responses vary. Don't get discouraged if you need some trial and error. From a practical standpoint, if you and your doctor decide to give desloratadine or levocetirizine a try, it's wise to revisit your entire medication list. This is especially true if you have a complex medical profile that includes heart or kidney issues. Ask your healthcare provider what red flags to watch for: changes in heart rhythm, unusual tiredness, or anything else that might indicate an interaction. It's far better to be cautious and observant than to power through a side effect because you assume it's just a normal part of aging. The emotional payoff for those who find the right match can be huge. Pauline, for example, felt a renewed sense of freedom. She no longer dreaded going outside on breezy days or waking up to uncontrollable itchiness. Such relief can encourage more participation in community events, social gatherings, and even simple joys like sipping tea on the front porch. Reduced fear of allergy flare-ups often translates into a more carefree state of mind, which is vital for overall well-being. Before we wrap up our overview of specific antihistamines, let's take a step back and think about your own experiences. Have you tried more than one type of allergy medication over the years? Or have you stuck with the same one out of habit? Sometimes familiarity can keep us from exploring better options. If you feel stuck or unsure, take a small step. Schedule a quick talk with your pharmacist or doctor to see if a medication review might reveal alternatives. And if you're in a position to do so, share this knowledge with someone else in your life. There's a good chance they're wrestling with similar allergy issues too. Now that we've covered 5 different antihistamines, loratadine, fexofenadine, cetirizine, desloratadine, and levocetirizine, let's look at how to put this information into action safely. In the next section, we'll consider practical strategies for managing potential interactions, as well as complementary lifestyle choices that can bolster your antihistamines' effectiveness and keep you feeling protected and confident. It's easy to assume that once you pick an antihistamine, your job is done. In reality, medication is just one piece of the puzzle, particularly if you're over 70. Seniors often face the added complexity of multiple prescriptions, polypharmacy, so it's important to factor in how an antihistamine fits into that bigger picture. Also, complementary measures, like using saline nasal rinses or monitoring indoor air quality, can reduce the amount of medication you actually need. Let's revisit Harold, age 78, for an example. He learned that a review of all his medications was long overdue. By sitting down with his primary care doctor and pharmacist, Harold realized that several drugs he was taking had sedating properties, potentially compounding any drowsiness from antihistamines. After adjusting his regimen and opting for a safer second-generation antihistamine, Harold felt more alert overall. Plus, he learned about using a simple saline spray before bedtime to clear his nasal passages, something that reduced his nighttime congestion so effectively that he needed a lower dose of antihistamine the next day. From an evidence-based standpoint, managing polypharmacy is a critical aspect of senior healthcare. Each medication should be evaluated for both necessity and potential interactions. This can prevent unnecessary side effects like confusion, dry mouth, or dizziness, which often get mistakenly labeled as aging issues. A periodic medication review, every 6 months or annually, goes a long way toward making sure all your prescriptions still serve your current health needs. In terms of practical steps, you might start by making an appointment specifically for a medication checkup. Bring all your pill bottles or a clear list of every supplement, over-the-counter product, and prescription you use, including dosage and frequency. Ask your healthcare provider to confirm whether each item is still appropriate. If you're considering adding an antihistamine, inquire about the best timing, morning versus night, and whether there are any red flag interactions with your existing regimen. It's also a good time to discuss lifestyle adjustments, such as gentle indoor exercises or even low-impact outdoor walks, which can help bolster your immune system and overall resilience. The benefits of this comprehensive approach are multifaceted. Physically, you're more likely to find the sweet spot in managing your allergies without feeling overstimulated or lethargic. Emotionally, you'll have the confidence that comes from taking an active role in your health decisions. Rather than feeling like medical issues happen to you, you become a collaborator in your own well-being. This shift in perspective can be incredibly empowering. Now think about your current routine. Are you relying on outdated prescriptions or failing to mention certain supplements to your doctor? It might be time to do a bit of spring cleaning in your medicine cabinet. Partnering with a trusted healthcare provider can make this process far less daunting. Consider making this a priority in the coming week or two, especially if you're heading into a known allergy season. By clarifying your medication plan, you'll be in a stronger position to face any pollen or dust mites that come your way. We're nearing the conclusion of this journey into safer antihistamines for seniors. But before we wrap up, let's revisit all 5 options in a concise way, emphasizing the potential positive outcomes and how you can seamlessly incorporate them into your life. Let's also address why you might want to take action sooner rather than later, so you can step into the upcoming season feeling not just protected, but genuinely confident. No matter how long you've been dealing with seasonal allergies, Whether it's a lifelong struggle or a new challenge that appeared in your later years, there's a real possibility for improvement. We've explored how loratadine, fexofenadine, cetirizine, desloratadine, and levocetirizine each offer distinct advantages that are often more suitable for seniors than traditional first-generation antihistamines. With lower sedation profiles and fewer anticholinergic effects, these newer options can bring relief without the heavy side effects that interfere with daily life. But the key takeaway is that you are in control of this decision-making process. You're not stuck with a single medication or forced to choose between relief and feeling like yourself. Why does it matter? Because managing allergies effectively can have a remarkable ripple effect on your overall quality of life. Think of it this way: less congestion, fewer sneezing fits, and reduced irritation can mean better sleep, more energy for your favorite activities, and fewer interruptions to social engagements. This isn't just about making it through allergy season. It's about preserving and even enhancing your independence, your connections with loved ones, and your enjoyment of the little things in life. If there's a sense of urgency in these final moments, it's because every day you endure symptoms unnecessarily is a day you don't feel fully yourself. It's easy to delay or brush off allergy concerns as not that serious, but remember that persistent discomfort can affect your immune system, your mental health, and even your balance or ability to exercise. Addressing the problem sooner rather than later can prevent minor issues from snowballing into bigger health complications. So how do you start implementing these changes? First, consider which antihistamine from the ones discussed seems most compatible with your current needs. Do you value complete non-sedation above all else? Do you want rapid relief, or are you more concerned about overnight symptoms? Jot down these preferences and bring them to your next doctor's visit. If you already have a few allergy medications in your cabinet, take a moment to review them. Are they first-generation types that might be causing you unnecessary drowsiness or confusion? If so, ask about transitioning to a newer alternative. If you find the idea of trying something new overwhelming, remember that you can always start with a small trial period or even request a consultation with your pharmacist to walk you through the best way to take the medication. Another layer of your call to action is to consider complementary steps: investing in a good air filter, using saline rinses, washing bedding in hot water more frequently, and keeping tabs on local pollen counts. These measures can optimize any medication choice you make. For those who love technology, there are apps that track pollen levels and can remind you when it's best to close windows or avoid lengthy outdoor exposure. Small actions accumulate to create a big impact on your daily comfort. Finally, if you found this exploration helpful, share it. Talk to your friends or family members who might also be dealing with allergies. The over 70 community thrives on shared knowledge and collective wisdom. By passing along what you've learned, you not only reinforce your own understanding, but also help someone else feel less alone in their quest for relief. In closing, remember that you have agency over your health decisions. You have years of experience and wisdom to draw upon, and now you have additional insights into 5 antihistamines that could make a meaningful difference. Rather than letting seasonal allergies dominate your spring or autumn, you can meet them head-on with safer, smarter choices. It's about feeling protected, informed, and ready to breathe a sigh of relief, literally. May your next season be one of renewed energy, clearer airways, and the comfort and confidence that come from making mindful, well-researched decisions. Thank you for taking the time to explore these options with me. Whether you take the small step of reviewing your medications or the bigger step of discussing a new antihistamine strategy with your doctor, you're already moving toward a healthier, more vibrant life. And that truly is what makes this journey worthwhile.